Okay, so what we are trying to do today is to use this wireframe and build the layout in Tableau. Okay, so as you can tell, this wireframe was previously built and you should have this template on your end. The purpose of this initial 5 to 10 minutes is to use this wireframe that was built in Excel and build the same layout on Tableau. The first page that we'll be working on is the title page. Okay, so let's open Tableau. You will have as the first file the file that we worked on in a previous session. In this previous session, what we did, we created these two worksheets, and then we built this very simple dashboard with two filters. Now, what we are going to do in this new dashboard is to just build only the layout that will mimic what we have on this spreadsheet, only the piece related to the title page. I'm going then to open Tableau, and just because of my screen is not that big, I'm going to put this in a different screen. Okay, so but that is what I'll be trying to build. So this is Tableau. Again, I'm using this file that should have already a connection to your data source, and this is a dashboard that it's empty. Okay, so now how do we start doing this? First of all, Tableau uses what they call containers. Containers can only be either horizontal containers or vertical containers, meaning the container will keep horizontal items on a horizontal order, and or the items that will be stacked up on each other. And if you want to do that, you have to select this vertical container when you're building the dashboard. If we look at this dashboard, what we are going to do is I'm going to make the assumption that there's a huge vertical container, and this is the first part and this is the second part. Essentially, what I do need to select is a vertical container, and I'll do that now. Just keep the settings of the size of the dashboard for now. Let's not play with that. Just keep it standard to 1000 by 800. Okay, so I'm going to select this vertical container. Okay, and when I do that, nothing seems to have happened. But when you go to the second tab of the layout, you'll see that you have this little vertical container added to the title. So we are going to rename this as where is the rename? This is going to be like okay, so this is the main vertical. You don't really need to do this, but just to make sure that we're talking on the to exactly know where we are, it's that I am adding this name. So when you are building a dashboard, the container may have a number of attributes. You'll have the position, so X, Y position, the height and the width. The container may have a border. The container may have a background color, and the container may also have outer or inner padding. Okay, so in this case, just to try to mimic this to what we have here, I'm going to try to find a color that's fairly similar to this one, to this container, the container that I'm highlighting right now. Okay, and let's try to find a color, and see, this is fairly similar, right? So I don't know if it's not 100% same, but it's telling us that we have our container here. Now, the problem was that I do have the elements here stacked vertically, right? So then, and what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to add another container inside this one. And the first one is going to be a horizontal because of this is what I want at the top. This is going to be the horizontal container that will be contained into this big one. Okay, so now what I do want is a horizontal container inside this big one, inside the big one, and by the big one I mean the one that I'm highlighting at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to put this down and let's do a horizontal. I'm going to drag the horizontal object here, and it seems that nothing happened, but right after I'm going to add a text. Okay, and then this is going to be a horizontal text. Okay, you will see what I'm doing this nonsense, but sometimes it's better just to add text so you will know where the container is. Okay, so now remember I told you that if you see the layout, you will see that this vertical container has inside a horizontal container, and within that horizontal container there's a piece of text. Okay, the next thing I want to do is also add an additional horizontal container which will contain the elements that we have in the bottom part of this wireframe. Okay, and that is exactly what I will try to do here. I am going to add inside this big dashboard a horizontal container, a new horizontal container, right? How do I do that? I'll just select the object, horizontal object, and I'm going to just place it here. How do I know it is there? Let's cancel this. I'm going to make this text a little bit bigger so you will know, and I'm going to add this horizontal container. At that point I do have now one horizontal container at the top and one horizontal container at the bottom, and the two of them are inside a vertical container. How do I know that? Because of, you'll see them here, this main vertical, the horizontal at the top, which only has one text, and the horizontal container at the bottom. Now let's change this text here, say to let's change this the name of the container and rename here text. Let's see, this top container. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to rename it bottom container. Okay, so and then inside this bottom container I am going to add just a piece of text just to know where I am. Okay, bottom text, bottom container text. Okay, so and what do you know what you did? So when you add a piece of text to a container, what it will do is just to use the size required by the objects inside. Since I want this to be a little bit bigger, I'll make it just a little bit bigger. That's what I did, right? So, and let's take a look at the layout again. So you have the main vertical, which is the big container, right? So you see it goes all the way to our rectangle, and inside that we have the top and the bottom container, and inside each of these top containers we have at the moment just two pieces of text. Okay, now that's not what we really want to build, right? So what we need to build here is to have these three objects at the top, right? So, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split this into let's do 4 pieces, right? So I'm going to add one container for the logo, one container, one image here, one piece of text here, and one date here. Okay, let's see how we build that. At this point, I'm going to add 3 additional containers. Okay, let's see if blank works. So I'm going to add a blank container at the top. Okay, and it's just a blank container, right? So there's nothing inside. And I also need an image, because I want to add the logo. Okay, and I'm going to just drag this image here. It doesn't matter where I place them at the beginning. I'm going to just place them where I want as I finalize the layout. And let's choose. Do I have an image somewhere? Let's see if this works. Okay, let's see if this works now. So I'm going to select a new image here. Edit image. You can select whatever image you want. In this case, I do have an image here in the C temp. I believe it's here. Okay, so this is my logo, right? So this is going to be my logo. You can have your own image and then replace it with this one. And then once we have this, let's go back to our layout. So we have the logo here. Yes, it's not placed where it should be, but for now it doesn't matter. We also need a title. For the title, what I'm going to do is just a new piece of text here. This is going to be my text. Let's say this is my title. Okay, my title is business dashboard. Business dashboard. Okay, so you can do a few things here. You can change the font depending on how you want to do it. You can change it. You can play with the color. You can center this and blah blah. It's up to you what title you want to provide to your title page. In this case, let's just do this title page, right? Title page. That's what it is, but you can change it anyways. And then do insert, and then we have the title page here. For now, don't worry about where this is placed. We're going to deal with that later. And say the date. Okay, the date is again, it's going to be just another piece of text. And let's say, I don't know, when are we going to do the presentation? 2021, April. Let's say it's 22nd, I believe, but you just have to have the right date. I'm just making up the dates for now. Again, you can change the date, the color, font, okay, and so on. So now let's try to make this this top container a little bit nicer. For that, what usually you will see is that there are blank containers in between your objects. That's exactly what I will do now. I'm going to just add, say, this blank container here. I'm going to add another blank container in between my title page and these two guys. And just in case, let me add a new more blank container here. So now this is going to help me to place my elements the way I want them to be displayed in the end. So one thing that you need to know, so once we have all these elements, is that if we go back to the hierarchy under the layout tab, you will see that we do have the top container that includes now all of these things, right? So the blank, our logo, more blank, more title page, all the way to the horizontal text. Say, what I really want is that to just have a little margin here on the far left. Then I want this to be potentially like maybe like this. This is good enough. So my title, I want to just adjust it a little bit here. I want my title page to go potentially to here, right? The date, I want it to be a little bit wider, and it seems that I already have, at least it's fairly close, right? So it's not 100% close. But now let's change the color of this, right? So of the container at the top, because of at least I do have the elements here. Let me just do one thing here. So fit image. Okay, so let me just do one thing so this is a little bit nicer. You have to play with this in terms of what type of image you have for your logo. But what I want to do now is to make sure that the container at the top has its own unique color. Okay, so how do I do that? When you want to change the color of the container, the background of the container, you need to select the container, the main container. This is the main container, right? And what I'm going to do is I want to change that color, the container of that color, the color of that container to this kind of gray that we see at the top on our wireframe. How do I do that? Like once I'm selecting the top container, okay, you just need to go under the background, and I guess it's a little bit brighter, right?